Welcome to an 84 contest entry video. That's right. This particular video and this particular contest entry is for comics Altruism, and he has a fun contest going right now. It's called Movie Madness. So you know the Macho Madness had to enter this thing because it seemed like some fun, and he had some pretty cool prizes and all that good stuff. So, boom. Subscribe to Comics Altruism. Check him out. Good dude. Does a lot of charitable stuff. Knows his stuff about comics. Check him out. The contest. Premise of this contest is to put together a movie, comic book related movie, and you get unlimited access, brother. You can time travel in the whole thing. You can choose whatever actors you want from whatever era of their career that you want. Go nuts. Shout out to Night Tiger, who has like a similar contest going on, and I was like, oh man, I almost wanted to enter both, but I've done a couple contests with Night Tiger before and won one of them. So I haven't done one for Altruism yet, so I figured I'm gonna do one for Altruism. But I just want to give a shout out to Night Tiger's current contest. It's a little different, but put together a movie of a comic book team movie. So enter that one, and enter this one. All right, let's get to the main event. So the movie that I put together, that would be like, this would be the ultimate. This would be the ultimate movie. Picture this. Right? I'm gonna paint the scene for you. Heroes for hire, right? Heroes for hire, as we know, Iron Fist and the Power Man Luke Cage. They were a duo that, as the name kind of suggests, right? They would do heroic stuff for hire. You could contract them to help you out of a jam and just do some overall heroic stuff. Heroes for hire. So my film is a take on that era of Iron Fist and Power Man, and it's directed by Quentin Tarantino. Okay, Quentin Tarantino is directing this film, so I want you to picture his style as we go through what's happening in this movie, right? Because I feel like Quentin Tarantino, he's good with the period pieces, and I think he could I want this movie to take place in the 70s, so I want him to kind of capture the 70s vibe in this movie. And I also want his style of really cool dialogue, that Quentin Tarantino humor, kind of gory action, foul language, right? All that shit is in this movie. All right, let's get to the cast. Iron Fist. Iron Fist in my film is going to be played by the one and only Ed Norton. Okay? Ed Norton is one of my favorite actors. Just think of Fight Club, American History X, Birdman, etc. The list goes on and on for Ed Norton. And like we saw in American History X, he could have got a little buff, So I'd probably be going for like that age range of Ed Norton. Ed Norton's gonna play Iron Fist. The kind of came from money, goes on the journey, comes back with the power of the Iron Fist, and boom, plopped into 70s. Brooklyn, New York, or Harlem, or wherever they were. And he's going to meet up with his partner, Power Man Luke Cage, which in my film would be cast by the awesome Jim Kelly, uh, Jackson from Enter the Dragon, if you will. Jim Kelly's going to be my Luke Cage Power Man. He's going to be like kind of swag, jive talking. Jim Kelly's pretty buff. I don't want him to be like a big hulking Power Man, kind of like he was drawn in the comics. I want him to be built like Jim Kelly in Enter the Dragon. So there's your heroes for hire right there. Iron Fist and Luke Cage, Ed Norton and Jim Kelly. I think they'll have a fun dynamic between them, and boom. I also, in this movie, we're gonna need Misty Knight. Misty Knight, I want her to be in the film as kind of a third player who maybe still is connected to the police force and kind of tips them off on information so, they can get kept up with what's going on in the streets and get intel from law enforcement. So that's Misty Knight. Who's Misty Knight going to be played by in my movie? Well, we're getting the 70s vibe. By the way, I'm talking the soundtrack throughout this movie. James Brown, the Commodore, Stevie Wonder. I want a real funky soundtrack throughout this movie. So to keep with that theme, that motif, Misty Knight will be played by none other than Pam Grier, and I'm talking prime epic Pam Grier, 70s Pam Grier. I mean, is she Misty Knight? She'd be the ultimate Misty Knight. So we got Pam Grier in there as Misty Knight. Now we need some villains, right? Who's going to be the villains for Heroes to Hire? Well, I got two in mind for this movie. We're talking street level. This is Heroes to Hire is street level heroics, right? So I want Hammerhead to be one of the villains in this film. Hammerhead, who you might, notably as a Spider-Man villain, but he crossed paths with Iron Fist and Power Man too. But in my film, we're gonna have Hammerhead played by Harvey Keitel, and I'm thinking, I don't want him to be like super young taxi driver Harvey Keitel, and I also don't want him to be like the Wolf from Pulp Fiction Harvey Keitel. The sweet spot for me is gonna be Reservoir Dogs Harvey Keitel. I want him to be seasoned in the game. I want him to be a seasoned mobster, but still spry enough to put a little hurting on you. We're going to give him the big flat top dome in the whole thing. Harvey Keitel, I think, will kill it in that role. And he's a bit of the brains of the operation. He's kind of the boss a bit. But he's going to have an enforcer with him, brother. And this enforcer is what's going to lead to the big splashy action scene and the big fight scene and, the big action battle. And I think a cool enforcer for Hammerhead is going to be the Absorbing Man. That's right. How cool would it be to see the Absorbing Man, all the cool stuff you can do of him, absorbing a brick wall, smashing fools, having his, ball on a chain. Who's going to play Absorbing Man? This guy, I don't know if you consider him a deep cut or not, but I'm a fan of this dude. I'm talking Peter Tormare, right? Peter Tormare, he's currently in American Gods. He plays a really dope character in The American Gods. Guy with a big old hammer, which kind of made me think, I could picture him wielding the Wrecking Ball, because he wields this big-ass hammer in American Gods, and he's a badass character. But you could also go back to, Fargo. He was the blonde dude in Fargo. He's kind of a big, imposing guy. So Peter Tormare is going to be my Absorbing Man. And that reminds me of Steve Buscemi. Steve Buscemi is going to be in the movie somewhere, too. I don't want him to be like a hero or villain, per se. But because Steve Buscemi did such a great job alongside Harvey Keitel in Reservoir Dogs and Tomer in Fargo, Steve Buscemi is going to be in there as just a member of the squad. He's going to be kind of like comic relief. So expect Steve Buscemi to be in Hammerhead's gang. So yeah, that's kind of the vibe of the movie. I'd like to have like a couple little cameo appearances by maybe like some other Marvel heroes. They're just going to be brief little scenes, but they're going to be like fun little Easter eggs. And again, we want to keep it street level. Guys that are heroes for hire may cross paths with in the street of New York while they're superheroing. So, I'd say you probably see them come across the likes of Moon Knight, who in my movie will be played by Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell, Moon Knight. And they got to cross paths with Daredevil one night. Daredevil, who in my film will be played by a young Robert Redford. Okay, so that's all the fun you can expect in my movie. My dream version of a Quentin Tarantino directed Heroes for Hire. Boom! How awesome is that? It's almost a shame that we'll never get to see this movie. This is a fun contest. As I'm thinking it up, I was having being able to vividly picture this shit. I'm like, damn, I wish that was real. Either way, it was fun thinking about it, putting this together. And it's a contest entry for Comics Altruism. Shout out to him. You should join in the contest. Throw your hat in the ring, man. He's got some cool prizes. And by the way, just a editor's note here. Part of his contest was he shows these 8 books that you get to choose from if you win. And he also said he would fill out the prize box with other books from the whatever character you made the movie from. I would just say I'm not a big Iron Fist or Luke Cage collector per se, and I'm not sure how much Altruism would even have in his collection of that. So let me just defer to Batman and say, in the event that I win, those little extra books you would throw in, feel free to make it Batman for your boy. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll stay tuned to all your videos. I should have done this in the beginning. Shout out to Metarog's entry. Metarog's entry of a Deathlock movie is must-see YouTube TV. Shout out to you, Metarog. It was watching yours and getting excited off watching it that made me inspired to put this together. So, again, I should have said that in the beginning, but shout out to you at the end. All right, everybody, I'm out.